Hey guys, welcome to my channel. There's been an uptick in certain conflicts. One would be Ukraine and Russia, of course, and then we're hearing about Iran and the nuclear agreement. It's just not going well between the United States, Benjamin Netanyahu, and Iran. All right, so what I believe is going to happen, this is just my analysis, is that Zelensky will lose Odessa. It may be one hell of a fight. It's not going to happen overnight, but it's coming. It's going to be a hardcore fight. Even if Russia gets halfway through, they've succeeded to some degree there. I'm also seeing, with my analysis, Kiev, the capital of Ukraine, that's going to be taken, if not half, by the Russians. Unfortunately, the UK is making this worse than what it has to be, and they have already spoke out. And I read in the headlines, the UK will sacrifice their sons for NATO, fighting against Russia in Ukraine. So there you have it. There's no peace deal because the UK and certain Western countries, like, I don't need to say which ones, they don't want peace, okay? We are edging closer, guys, to war. Not to mention the conflict with Iran. As the United States could possibly strike their nuclear facilities, or that could be, I should say, Israel. But firstly, let me explain. Israel will hit Iran, and the United States will get pulled in to Iran. That's what I believe is going to happen. Even if it's short duration, that's what I believe is going to happen. It could, one, possibly start out as a regional war, and then it would possibly go into something much bigger, which would be world war. And if you guys think that this is all and solely about Iran's nuclear facility, well, it's not. At least 75% of this is about ridding out the Iranian regime, their current regime, their current leaders in office over there. Somewhat like what we saw with Saddam Hussein. So it could be a year or less, or it could go longer, or maybe nothing. But if Benjamin Netanyahu had his way, you can bet your ass we're going to war. Because Trump keeps stalling Benjamin Netanyahu. Do not dare hit Iran while I'm in a peace agreement deal with them. Don't do it. And he's going to do it. Because Benjamin Netanyahu hits everything and anything. And you guys know I ain't lying. Look at Syria. Oh, baby, look at Gaza. Let's not even talk about Gaza. People can't even eat. Luckily, Trump did push food aid in there recently because Benjamin Netanyahu gave him the green light to do so. Okay? Now, I'm not biased. I'm not picking sides here. I am more independent when it comes to politics. You may think I'm not, but I am actually independent. I don't go blue or red. I go for my cats at this rate, okay? But Benjamin Netanyahu is not a dumb man, okay? He's not a dumb man. He knows what he's doing, and that's going to be by striking Iran striking them back in retaliation, like a big strike, not like little strikes like we've seen before, and boom, shebang, the United States is there. Your sons and daughters. So you know what? I don't have a lot of use for people like that, who like to pull us into things. But sometimes we don't need to poke our nose into things either, right? Just like with Russia. This is a fucking nightmare. So next you have friend of Russia, Iran. Next it's going to be China, Taiwan, and possibly North Korea versus South Korea, or North Korea versus the Philippines, or Japan, who knows? And Turkey's eventually going to leave NATO. They are. They're going to leave NATO. It's a matter of time, and they're going to have their own little front. And they're going to be on the side of these other states in the East, countries, right? I do feel like Trump will lose his patience with Netanyahu, Zelensky, and Putin, if you want me to be honest. Even though I think Putin may be the more calm, subtle out of them all, he's going to lose his patience with all of them.
He'll be out of there by July 2027.
And just completely be done with it. These fronts are slowly opening up. They're not going to get any better. They may seem like they are, but they're not. And by the time we get into 2030 something, you know, it's just these fronts are open, and that's when the world is divided. That's when things divide. We have the dragon, the bear, North Korea, possibly Turkey, maybe a few other small countries going that way. And then you have the US, UK, you know, France and places like that, you know, EU, NATO countries as one. And then there's India. And I don't see India, the country India, taking sides with the US or let me say the West or the East. They're going to be more spiritual. It's going to be more of a foundation in the middle where they promote peace for both sides. And that's just my opinion. That's solely my opinion. Doesn't mean I'm right. We're going to see at least 1 to 2 assassination attempts, and I do believe one will be successful in the next couple of years. This is all based on analogy. It is not a prediction. It is not. It's just agenda based and what we're seeing things lead up to. I have talked about Macron, possibly Macron. It could be Zelensky. I think he's on the high chart. Definitely Trump, and maybe even Putin. And I had spoke on Benjamin Netanyahu, excuse me. I feel like somebody's turn him in, give up his location, and the outcome will be horrific. It will be horrific. But you know what? These things don't have to happen. Peace may be promoted, and all this come to an end tomorrow. What do I know?
I did forget to mention the United States, and I did forget to mention U.S. soil and what all of this illegal immigration and deportation is doing. The problem is that deals were not kept. And I know I'm going to be hearing, illegal means illegal. Originally, illegal was going to be okay. It was just the criminals. But the ones who were working with families, not to divide them, were okay. That was the original plan, but that deal was broken. So now you have people rioting and making a fuckery of things all over the United States, and that's just going to get worse until something gives, until something really bad happens to, could be a child, it could be any type of scenario that's based around people who don't have criminal backgrounds. That's what's going to break this eventually over time. And that's sad. But remember, it all has to be shaken. It all has to come down to be built back up again. And that's the only way you can look at it. And everything in this video is solely my opinion, not facts. However, I am basing my information off of factual news articles, TV clips. But again, it's just my opinion.